As the darkness enveloped the forest, the sounds of nocturnal creatures emerged, a symphony of chirps, hoots, and rustling leaves. Sarah and Jane sat close to their makeshift camp, the glow of their small fire casting flickering shadows around them. Despite the warmth, a chill lingered in the air and an unspoken tension settled between them. James was the first to break the silence. "You remember what the stories the lady told us, don't you, about how the creature feeds?" His voice was steady, but there was an underlying edge of unease. Sarah nodded, staring into the flames. "Fear. The legends all talked about how it draws strength from fear. But how do we even use that? It's not like we can just turn fear on and off." James considered this for a moment, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Maybe we don't need to control it. Maybe we just need to acknowledge it. If it feeds on fear, then our fear might be the very thing that brings it out into the open." They both fell silent, contemplating this revelation. It was a risky plan, relying on their vulnerability to draw out the creature. But after days of fruitless searching, it seemed like their best option. "We have to trust that our fear will lead it to us," Sarah said finally, meeting James's gaze. "We can't be reckless, but we need to open ourselves to it, let it know we're here." James nodded, his expression resolute. "Then let's make sure it knows. We need to stay alert and be ready for anything." As the fire crackled softly, they began to talk about their fears, allowing themselves to feel the anxiety and dread that had been simmering beneath the surface. Memories of past failures, fears of the unknown, and the sheer terror of their current situation poured out into the night air, each admission a silent invitation to the creature lurking in the darkness. Time passed slowly as they waited, their senses heightened by the knowledge of what they were attempting. Every snap of a twig, every whisper of the wind set their hearts racing. But they held their ground, determined to face whatever came their way. And then, from the depths of the forest, there was a sound, a low, guttural growl that seemed to vibrate through the very earth beneath them. It was a sound unlike any they had heard before, primal and menacing. The creature had heard their call, and it was coming. As the growl reverberated through the forest, Sarah and James exchanged a grim look. They rose to their feet, hearts pounding in their chests. The firelight flickered ominously, casting long shadows that danced with the anticipation of the impending confrontation. Out of the shadows, the creature emerged, a hulking mass of darkness and malice. Its eyes glowed with a sinister light, and its movements were swift and predatory. The air around them felt heavy with dread, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. The battle began with a ferocity that took both Sarah and James by surprise. The creature lunged at them with its massive claws, each swipe a deadly arc that sliced through the air with lethal intent. James managed to dodge the first attack, but the creature's claws raked across his arm, leaving deep, jagged gashes that oozed blood. He gritted his teeth against the pain, struggling to keep his focus. Sarah, meanwhile, was grappling with the creature's immense strength. It knocked her to the ground with a powerful blow, and she felt the sharp crack of ribs breaking. Gasping for air, she rolled away just in time to avoid another deadly strike. Her vision blurred with pain, but she forced herself up, clutching a sturdy branch as her makeshift weapon. With no knives or proper tools at their disposal, they fought with whatever they could find. James grasped a rock, swinging it with all his might at the creature's thick hide, while Sarah swung her branch in desperate arcs. The creature's tough exterior absorbed many of their blows, but they managed to land a few strikes, drawing dark, viscous blood that hissed as it hit the ground. The creature retaliated with brutal force, its claws slashing through the air. James struggled to maintain his footing, his injured arm hanging uselessly at his side. He felt the blood loss weakening him, but he pressed on, driven by sheer willpower. He lunged at the creature again, aiming for its eyes. But the creature swatted him away with a vicious backhand, sending him crashing into a tree. He felt a sharp pain in his chest as ribs cracked under the impact, and stars danced in his vision. Sarah screamed in defiance, launching herself at the creature once more. She struck it with her branch, aiming for its head, but the creature roared in fury, retaliating with a swipe that tore across her abdomen. Pain was excruciating, and she staggered back, clutching her side as warm blood seeped through her fingers. The battle raged on, each of them sustaining grievous injuries that left them barely standing. But finally, with one last, desperate effort, they managed to drive the creature back. It let out a final anguished howl before retreating into the shadows, leaving them battered and broken but alive. As the echoes of the creature's departure faded, a strange calm settled over the forest. The oppressive weight lifted, and the air seemed to shimmer as if a veil had been lifted slowly. Almost imperceptibly at first, the mountain began to change. Before they left, Sarah and Jane stumbled upon a weathered diary in the cave where they had found the clues. Using the last of their strength, they took turns writing down their harrowing experience, detailing the battle and the creatures. Terrifying nature, they hoped that their account would serve as a warning or a guide for anyone else who might find themselves trapped in this strange place, facing the same horror they had just survived. With their injuries still fresh and the dawn breaking softly over the horizon, they felt a sense of relief wash over them. They leaned on each other for support, their bodies battered but their spirits unbroken, as they slowly made their way back out of this awful place, knowing they had left a testament to their struggle for others to find. But you see, in that lies the problem. I have found the diary. Now I am in for the battle of my life.